2020X 年。男は本当に退屈しました。彼は退屈を治すための答えを探します。彼が諦め時に答えを見つけました。一人の男対2199のスーパーファミコンゲーム。これはその男の物語だ。Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. It's Cream1337 here with a brand new gaming challenge. This is where I try to play and beat 2,199 Super Nintendo games. That's most of the library. We're gonna have lots of fun, and in that fun I'm gonna talk about these games, rank these games with the official ranking system, which I'll explain in a bit. And there's my lovely assistant, asleep on the job as always. Before we get started, here are some ground rules. Here are the rules to the challenge. I have to play all the games in the library, except the European ones. I'm sorry, Europe. It's nothing personal, I promise. I have to try to beat all of them because I don't find any fun in just playing the game for 5 or 10 minutes and then moving on to the next one. For platformers, if I can't get past the first stage, it counts as a loss. Or in Mega Man's case, any of the stages available, it will count as a loss. For casino games, if I make any amount of profit, it's considered a win. If a game has a scoreboard and I get on it, I'll count it as a minor personal win. But if I get the highest score on the other hand, then it's a win. RPGs will be completed to their entirety, and if I lose 100 times, or honestly till I'm fed up with it, I'll move on to the next one and it'll count as a loss on the record. This is Paige Mascot and my cat Zelda. We're going to be using her face as part of the ranking system. If a game is bad, it'll get 1 Zelda head, but if it's really good, I'll line up 5 of them. And yes, I know what you're thinking. I did name my cat after the novelist, short story writer, dancer, painter, socialite, and in 1992 inducted into the Alabama Women's Hall of Fame, Zelda Fitzgerald. Enough introductions. Now, let's start with our first game.
Y'all ready for this?
Biometal is a side-scrolling shooting game released in Japan on March 19th, 1993, and at some point in November of the same year in the United States. It was distributed by industry big boys Activision, and it was developed by company Athena, who had previously released Deadlock, a shameless Tetris rip, on the NES 4 years prior. I tried going on the company website, but it leads to nowhere as the company filed for bankruptcy in 2013, presumably when they spent all their money betting on the Yomiuri Giants to win the Nippon Series against Masahiro Tanaka and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Just kidding about that last part. After taking a step into the Wayback Machine, I was able to navigate their now defunct page, and it feels a little sad. They have 4 links that you can click on leading to pages giving you information about all the games they released, info on where to find their company building with town map included, a links page that could redirect you to Mahjong websites that are now dead, and Toei's anime website. And lastly, a support page, just in case you were playing Biometal and needed some tips to help you pass the first stage. I wish I could have called for some help, but the line is down. For most of their existence, Athena made action games and wouldn't start making Mahjong games until June of 1993 with their absolute banger of a Mahjong game called Pro Mahjong Kiwami. From there, they would make mostly tabletop games, adventure games, and puzzle games, until 2001 when they made a Mahjong game for the anime Shobushi Densetsu Tetsuya on the Game Boy Color called Shobushi Densetsu Tetsuya Shinjuku Tenunhen. I dare you to say that 5 times really fast. The final game Athena developed was called Shobushi Densetsu Tetsuya Digest, in which you play as Tetsuya and go through the story of the anime, in 2004. After that, it's hard to find more information on what they were exactly doing for the next 9 years until their bankruptcy. Right off the bat, when you start the game, it shows you its many licenses, including a 2 Unlimited logo. Yes, that 2 Unlimited. Wait, you don't know who 2 Unlimited is? I assure you that you've heard a part of their song, Get Ready for This, or Twilight Zone before at some sporting event. Now that I've reminded you about the creators of music, it blows my mind that this game's soundtrack is made of 2 Unlimited songs. The Japanese version of Biometal had no 2 Unlimited songs and was your standard side-scrolling space shooter, something that someone at Activision wanted to change. They felt like Biometal, of all things, needed a tie-in with 2 Unlimited in order to appeal to the market outside of Japan, I guess? I think the play here was to boost sales of this Gradius clone by adding popular music from the time in order to make it seem unique and cool. I couldn't find any answers to this question whilst researching for this video, so I'm gonna go with my speculation and present it as fact because no one can tell me otherwise. Aside from the awesome soundtrack, there's nothing really special about this game. You shoot things, power-ups come out, you collect weapons, wash, rinse, repeat. The story for this game is kind of cool. So there was this crazy space war that depleted the Milky Way's resources. While on a resupplying mission, the team gets wrecked by what the game calls BMs, short for biometals. And it's up to our heroes Kid Ray and Anita the biologist, both named after the 2 Unlimited duo, to save the galaxy and eliminate the the biometal. My main gripe with the game is that there's too much going on the screen. Even with 3 enemies on the screen, one could get overwhelmed with all the blasts, the lightning cracking in the background, and whatever that dangly thing is. Biometal gives you the option to use a shield, but it doesn't really help. Okay, that was a lie. It does the best it can, and I couldn't ask for any more. Seriously though, the shield is nice for little attacks and can protect you when in a pinch. The weapons you can collect are part of your standard space shooter arsenal. They're rockets, 3-prong attacks, a long laser, and my favorite, the wave shoot. I wish I could tell you more, but despite my best efforts, I was not able to clear the first stage. By the time I reached the boss of the stage, I have no lives left, no special weapons, or hope left. I will admit, I'm not the best at these type of games, and it showed. There were moments I felt elite, barely dodging blasts while destroying my enemies, and other times I felt like a complete newbie. Nintendo Magazine UK gave this game an 83 out of 100, stating that it's a good example of a well-used formula, and I couldn't agree more. Spot on. All Game Guide thought differently, stating that Biometal is a big disappointment. The standard weapons are bland, and you feel disembodied from the action like an observer rather than a participant. Ouch. I kinda agree with that too. All in all, if you like this genre of game, you'll have fun with it. It's a hard game, but I think the difficulty comes from all the enemy attacks on the screen and things distracting you. Remember, my experience is only limited to the first stage because this game is hard as fuck. The verdict? I'm gonna give Biometal 2 Zelda tokens out of 5.
Holy! Same graphics, same move.
This game sucks. It's pretty obvious by the tone of my voice that I did not have a good time. Developed by Rare, published by both Midway and Nintendo, Killer Instinct was released to arcades on October 28, 1994, and would bless the Super Nintendo on August 30th, 1995. Although claiming to be unique, Killer Instinct comes across as a Mortal Kombat clone. This game fully encapsulates what the edginess of the 90s was. This game came packaged with a music CD called Killer Cuts, and I had the pleasure of listening to it. Some of these songs sound like something I would hear at a department store at the mall or while working out at a gym. The soundtrack contains 16 songs ranging from generic 90s pop to absolute bangers. If the game had this music instead of what it came with, maybe I would have enjoyed this game more. Jumping into this game, There are 10 playable characters to choose from, and I had a hard time. Growing up, I played a lot of Street Fighter and had an affinity towards Ryu and what are known as the Shoto characters. After picking around, I landed on the Ninja Jago as my Ryu stand-in. Look at this absolute unit of a man. He does not care about stealth with his blue ninja gi and red belt. My secondary character was this hot boy named Cinder for obvious reasons. The moves are really hard to execute, but according to the game manual, they look easy. I was only able to spam Jago's Endo Kyukin projectile attack. Jago has similar moves to Ryu, but I, for the life of me, was not able to pull anything past an Endo Kyukin. For the first half of the run, I felt confident in my fundies, or fundamentals, to get me by my enemies. Everything was going fine until I went up against the short-armed bastard Riptor. The Velociraptor, who has had a bit too much coffee, gave me so much trouble. The combos felt automatic, and one mistake would leave me on the ground crying in a puddle of my own tears. Each loss would be more demoralizing than the last, and the cherry on this chocolate sprinkled cake of pain had to be the stupid victory music that would play after Riptor wins. Many tries later, I come out triumphant against the dinosaur, and I move on to Resident Furry Saberwolf. Things would go smoothly until I ran onto TJ Combo, the love child of Mortal Kombat's Jax and Street Fighter's Balrog. He kept catching me in combos and my feelings were hurt. I had to dig deep and clutch out a victory against the former heavyweight champion. I managed to make my way to the cover star of the Killer Cuts music CD, Spinal. This bag of bones gave me the work. It would teleport, casually combo me, shoot fireballs, and when it was done, kick me off the side of the castle we were battling on. Nice. I finally managed to hit Spinal with the good old razzle dazzle and set up a date with the cover star of the game, Fulgore. As its name implies, it showed me no mercy as he beat Jago all around the stage, teleporting and reacting to moves on the very first frame. It took a very special appearance from my boy Cinder to send Fulgore packing. The final boss of the game is his abomination called Idol. None of my previous struggles with Riptor, Spinal, TJ Combo, or Fulgore had prepared me for the pain Idol brought. No matter how hard I tried, Idol would combo me to death or near death, all while doing a stupid little taunt. By this point of my playthrough, I was very demoralized and didn't think I could beat Idol, but I had to persevere and try my best because we are not quitters. That's what I told myself until Idol turned up on me. Many thorough ass beatings later, I decided it was best for my health if I threw in the towel. It stings to get so close to beating a game only for the game to defeat me, but hey, you live and you learn. Reviews of the game from 1995 paint this game as a trailblazer. Entertainment Weekly said that Killer Instinct is a game with enough depth and technique to keep arcade junkies breaking dollar bills well into the next millennium, and I could not disagree more. Blatantly lying, Electric Playground stated, "If I could only afford one game and the SNES was all I had, Killer Instinct would be the one." Right. Now, I have to give this game a score. This is what I told myself over and over, but I couldn't come up with one. I'm gonna give Killer Instinct 0 Zelda tokens. Yeah, boo all you want, but this game has not aged well. If you're a fan of Killer Instinct, I'm sorry. Las Vegas Stream is a gambling simulator developed by the appropriately named DICE and HAL Laboratory. Released in Japan on September 10, 1993 on the Super Nintendo and Game Boy Classic. Special shout out to composers of the game, Kimitaka Matsumae, because the music in this game is so good, and it adds to the overall aesthetic of the game. Aside from that, it's a run-of-the-mill casino game. You start off the game by riding to Vegas with your homies in hopes of making that sweet, sweet cash. You start off with $1,000 and the goal is to win $10 million. Very realistic. After a little intro, you get to pick your choice of casino game. You can play blackjack, on the slot machines, craps, roulette, and poker. I'm not the gambling type, nor am I good at these type of games, but I'm gonna try and not go broke. I pulled up to the Golden Paradise Hotel with a pocket full of crumpled up bills and a head full of dreams. After signing at the check-in counter, Mr. Ass, I'm a nice man, was ready to make some cash. I can't do it alone, so I hit up Cliff to come to the casino with me. Sorry to Maria, Isabel, and Richard, but Cliff is the more chill one out of the group. Something I enjoyed while playing this game had to be the title cards for each game. It gave such a chill vibe to it all and it made me feel like I was at a nice casino. I started off with what was familiar to me, blackjack. Right off the bat I get a little overzealous and lost $50. I bounced back and hit the dealer with a 19 to win my $50 back. The battle was long and fierce, but I was never able to pull ahead of the dealer. I walked away $200 down. Nice. I tried my hand at the slot machines to make some quick cash. You don't really lose on the slot machines. That being said, I got overzealous once again and lost another 100. Now to uncharted lands. I've never played roulette nor craps until the making of this video. Follow me on Twitch. But I tried my very best. A cool feature this game has is the advice feature. You see, our boy Cliff can give me advice on whatever game we're playing, and for the life of me they didn't think to ask him for help. Even with my limited Japanese knowledge, I could have at least asked. Down to my last $325, the poker table looms. I was pitted against fellow homie Isabel, Hilda, Cheryl, and notorious card shark Silver. As you can guess, I didn't do too hot in poker. I don't know how to play poker, but here I am throwing virtual money away. Down to $245, I made a decision to go all out. Silver was the first to fold as he couldn't handle the spice. Hilda followed after, and then it was down to Isabel, Cheryl, and Mr. Ass. Yeah, I'm an ass man! I had one pair, but I was bluffing like I had a full house, or whatever the best hand in poker is. Turns out Cheryl was also lying through her teeth with her one pair and made way for eventual winner Isabel with a flush. I came in with $1,000 and left with zero, and possibly jeopardizing my trip back home. I guess I can be happy that Isabel won since we're in the same carpool, but I'm sure there's one song she'll play on our way back.
Bro boy, bro boy, bro boy, bro boy, bro boy, bro boy, bro boy.
I couldn't find reviews for the Japanese version of the game, but for the international version, UK Video Game Magazine Computer and Video Games said Vegas Stakes is absorbing for the first half hour, but as soon as you've tried your hand at each game, it becomes very dull indeed. I agree with that if you're not a fan of casinos, but if that's your jam, you can't go wrong with this one. I'm gonna give this game 3 Zelda tokens out of 5 simply because I had a good time even though I lost all my money. That's right, it's better than Killer Instinct. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell, and be sure to follow me on Twitch where you can see me suck in real time. Link will be in the description. This has been Cream1337, and I'll catch you next time.